Welcome to the Royal Ranger Podcast, where we are talking about all things Royal Rangers and building an effective discipleship ministry for boys in your church. I'm Carl Flight, the National Director for Royal Rangers USA, and my co-host is John Hicks, the National Programs and Curriculum Coordinator. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Let's jump into it. Hey everyone, it's good to be back with you again on the Royal Ranger Podcast. We're excited today. Our topic is going to be Camporama.
Woo-woo.
Yes, I know it's only May, and Camporama isn't until July of 2026. That seems like a long way away, but trust me, that's going to fly up here on us very, very quickly, isn't it, John?
Yes, it will. Absolutely.
This may have been your first time going, or may be your first time going to Camporama, or even thinking about it. For those who are veterans, of course, there'll be some good information here for you as well. But just want you to kind of know about Camporama and give us an opportunity to talk to people who, in fact, I was just not too long ago down in the east coast of our nation, or over on the east coast of our nation, and some of the groups that I was talking with there were like, tell us about Camporama. We don't know what it is. So they'd heard about it, but they'd never been. So this hopefully will be some good information for you. So John, what are the dates for Camporama?
That's a good question. That would be July 12 through 17 of next year, next summer, July 2026, down at Eagle Rock, Missouri.
Yeah, Eagle Rock. Yeah. That's the location of our national campground. Some people don't know that, but we have a 1,500-acre campground in Eagle Rock, Missouri, hence the name Camp Eagle Rock. But that is our national campground. If you've never been there, it's an incredible place. We have so many different things that you can do there and all that's going to take place. We'll talk about that here in just a moment when we talk about what's available at Camporama. But so that's going to be a great place. We always enjoy going down there and spending time down there. Our theme for Camporama coming up this year, this Camporama, is going to be the man. And so just to focus on the importance of us being the men that God has called us to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in our current day and time, boys are receiving a lot of mixed messaging on what it means to be a man, or even identity and who I am and who I should endeavor to be. So, with this theme, I think the idea was that we're hoping that we can encourage every boy to be the man that God created them to be, whatever that looks like, whoever that is. And we know that obviously Christ was our key example. He was our primary example of what Christ-like manhood looks like. So we want every boy to model their life after the life of Christ, obviously. But yet in the same way, we know that Christ-like manhood can look different from one guy to another. Some guys are very athletic and some guys aren't. Some guys are very well educated and some guys aren't. And some guys are, have great skills in one area and not so many in another. And that's fine. God created each one of us unique, and we all have unique skills and abilities. But whatever they are, so long as we can still pattern our heart and our life after the image of Christ, that's the universal example of Christ-like manhood. Right. So although the way that example is applied and represented in the lives of an individual boy and individual men, that can vary considerably, we can all still be the man that God created us to be. So that's kind of the concept behind the theme and why we were going with that.
That's exactly right. And so, and the scripture verse we're using is 1 Peter 2:21 specifically, that says, "To this you were called." The context of that, of course, they were talking about the example that we are as Christians. And for us, in our context of Royal Rangers, specifically the example you are as a man.
Yep. And
God has called us. If you were born a male, God has called you to be a man, and very specifically a Christ-like man. And so that will be the focuses of our evening services, which, again, our evening services at Camporama are off the chain, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they can be a little unusual.
Yes. But there is nothing like, we have a 10,000-seat amphitheater, outdoor amphitheater at Eagle Rock, Camp Eagle Rock. And when you feel that, we've had 5,000 plus men sitting in that theater, and when they all go after God in worship and in praise, there is nothing like it in a setting of the Ozark Mountains with the Mark Twain Forest surrounding us. It is just an amazing event, an amazing opportunity. And for your boys, for them to be at an event like this where they get to watch 5,000 men and boys go after God, with everything that is inside of them. It is something that will be indelibly imprinted in their heart. You cannot forget that.
Yeah.
You can't miss that.
And that's really the thing that makes Camporama unique, and that's why we do this event. Is National Camporama is really the only national Royal Ranger event that we do. I mean, we do it once every 4 years. We also have National Rendezvous, but obviously Rendezvous is only for FCF members, and younger boys can't come to that. So Camporama really is the bigger event that's for all Ranger leaders and boys. So it's a really important event because it's the one thing that brings together men and boys from all across the country. Every corner of the country is represented there. Every district in the nation is represented there. And it's the time we can come together. Like you said, we worship together, we pray together, but we also have a lot of fun together.
Oh, we have tons of fun.
And you get to meet those guys that you saw, 4 years ago at the last event when, you were camping next to them. And it's a great experience. It really is a very unique experience.
Yes, it is. And so there's people from around the world that come.
Yeah.
We have international visitors and Royal Rangers from different nations that come out and join us at that. And there is so much to do at Camporama that you will be hard-pressed to get it all done in the 5 days that Camporama runs.
Yeah.
So everybody arrives on Sunday, then they stay through Sunday and Monday day are usually set for setup, and then Monday night we kick off. Although we usually have a movie or something like that in the amphitheater on Sunday night for the men and boys, and then Monday night is our first service, and it just from that point on, hold on to your seats. It's run. Just incredible times. So, purpose of Camporama, if you're a youth pastor or a children's pastor, the impact that summer camp has on the life of a teenager or a child. When they get together and they're in that environment for a week. And I know when I was a youth pastor, I often said that God, just because it's a concentrated time, whereas for your weekly services, you come together for an hour and a half every week, once a week, all the way through there. But at Camporama or at youth service, they're all together for a week, and it just gets to compound on itself. And what God can do in that week is equivalent to what happens oftentimes in 8-9 months of youth services. And that exact same thing is true for Camporama. It's just a phenomenal time. Friendships are made, relationships are built. There's just such an opportunity. We've had boys that just come back from there. And I remember my very first one as a national director was in 2016, and for almost 2 years after that, I would just, as I went to places, had boys that would come up and say, "Let me tell you what happened to me at Camporama." And so nothing beats that. So anyway, great opportunity. We want you to be aware of that and what's going on.
So let's talk a little bit about what to expect at Camporama, because like you mentioned, there may be people who will come to this event and this is the first time they've been to one, and they may be thinking, okay, what exactly is this, and what are we going to do, and how does this thing work, and what should I expect, and what should I come prepared for?
Right.
So like you said, typically the gates open on Sunday afternoon. So groups will start coming in. They'll start setting up on Sunday. All the campers, all the attendees there are sleeping in tents. So if you're going to come, you are going to be in a tent. So you do need to bring your own camping gear. And there's information on the website that gives you an idea of what to bring. But you're sleeping in a tent. And then we have activities that go on throughout the day, a lot of variety of different fun things for the boys and leaders to do. And then we have services in the evening. We have morning assembly every morning where we have like regional devotions. So there's a devotion that goes on in the morning, activities that go on all day, and then the evening services. And then that continues through Friday, and then we're done by noon on Friday. So then everyone starts packing up. So what are some examples of the types of activities that they can expect to do, like during the day, or what might they experience there?
That list is pretty extensive, John. Of course, there's going to be we have 4 different shooting ranges on the grounds. We have a black powder range, we have archery range, we have a BB gun range, we have a shotgun range. All of those will be up and operational and going. And so the boys will have an opportunity with range safety officers, very safe. Everything we do has safety involved in it, obviously, but they'll be able to experience those events. We have a lot of team competitions that the boys will do, whether it's soccer or football or archery tag. They have the big archery, the bow and arrows with the big Q-tips on the front of him.
Yeah.
Those are always fun to watch. We have high ropes course, climbing towers. We have swimming. Of course, you have to have swimming in the Ozarks in July.
July in Missouri, you kind of need to swim in the summer.
There'll be inflatables. The list just goes on and on. It would be easier to try to figure out what don't we have there. There's so many, and there's still items that we're even in the process of contracting and putting together even now. So there'll be a lot to do there. There'll be some merit stations where they can work on merits if they want to work on merits. There'll be opportunities for them to showcase their talents in the what do you call it?
Jamborama.
Jamborama. That's
the JB Jamborama in the JB Lodge.
Yes, all of that. So there is a lot that they get to do throughout the day, and again, as we said, probably will be hard pressed to get it all done in those 4 days.
Yeah.
And they don't have to. That's the beauty of it, is outside of the set times where we all come together for the morning devotions and then for the evening services, the rest of the day is theirs to do as much or as little as they want to.
Yeah.
And again, in the setting that we are there of the Ozark Mountains and the Mark Twain Forest, it's an incredible time for a young man to be out there, to be on his own, under the supervision of obviously the event and all of that. It's not like they go off wandering by themselves.
Yeah.
But just a phenomenal time and experience for them.
Yeah. And I think one of the areas this year that we've added a little more flexibility in is in the area of the meals.
Yes.
So if I understand it correctly, all the evening meals are provided. Those are included in your registration. But the other meals, the breakfast and lunch, are optional. So like we said, attendees are going to be camping. So there's going to be setting up a campsite.
Yes.
And they have the option of providing all their own meals, or they can.
They're breakfast and lunch meals.
Yeah, providing the breakfast and lunch meals. Yep.
Yes.
So they have the option of cooking their own breakfast and lunch, but they have the option of buying those meals too. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, those meals it's kind of an a la carte type thing. You can, like John said, supper's already included in the registration price. Everybody eats supper, and the meals are phenomenal. They're great quantity. I mean, you won't go hungry, that's for sure. But we also know that with costs and all of that, an outpost may, and I know that probably a third of those who come to Camporama, they don't even eat breakfast. So if that's your group and you don't want to spend the money on that, it doesn't make sense for us to charge you for a meal you're not going to eat. Or if you want to just do donuts and cereal, an outpost can do that very inexpensively. And so we give you the option to be able to do that. And when you register, you'll see those options listed out.
Yeah.
There's a price for breakfast, there's a price for breakfast and lunch, and then, of course, your regular registration already includes supper.
Yeah. So it just kind of gives outposts a little more flexibility on deciding, do I want to put the time and effort into cooking meals, or do I want to just buy them on site?
That's right.
Of course, it's going to cost a little more if you buy them on site, but which you can't buy them. You have to decide when you register if you're going to take those meals.
That's
you can't just buy them when you get there. There will be a concession stand.
Yes.
Where, obviously you can get things at the concession stand if you choose to, but if you're going to purchase the meal packages, you have to get that when you register. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. Because obviously you can imagine for 5,000 people, the amount of orchestration that it takes and organization that it takes. We literally set up a city. We have a full-blown security force. We have a hospital with doctors and certified nurses there. We have a full kitchen that supplies cooks the meals. You can imagine cooking 15,000 meals a day. If you're doing 5,000 times 3, that's a lot of meals. Mm-hmm. And that you don't just run down to the grocery store to pick up whatever you're missing. You have to have that all shipped in, and truckloads come in already in advance, and so it is quite. So all that does have to be registered, and registration opens up the 1st of September. That'll be available, although our website will be coming live here in the next 3-4 weeks. Just keep checking back at nationalcamporama.org or .com. nationalcamporama.com.
Yeah.
I always get those mixed up.
Yeah.
But just keep checking in there, and you'll see when the registry or when the website comes live, all that information. One of the things that I think, and one of the reasons we want to talk to you about it this early also, is because you have to start planning for it. Yep. So there's a lot of planning that has to go into it. Things like, how are you going to get to Camporama? You need to decide that now. Are you going to take the church van? Are you going to team up with your district and rent charter bus. You know, there's
You
a
ride
lot
a
of
mule or
or walk or
walk. You can hike. Ooh,
need to
it could be a
start now.
backpacking trip all the way to Camporama. If you
That
do
would be-
take a video, we would like to see some
Definitely,
footage of that.
yeah. Send us some that'd be great promo, you know. But you have to think about those kind of things. Travel, what the cost is going to be. Fundraising, that's a big event. Registration is $300 if you get in on the early part of registration. For a boy, that includes your supper meals and your registration for Camporama and all of that. So you're going to want to do some fundraising or something along that line. This summer is the time to do that, because if you wait till next summer, boy, you're there. Yeah. It's time for Camporama, and so you'll want to start thinking about those kind of things. We do have what's called an outpost action plan that is available. There's going to be mailings going out to all of our churches with that outpost action plan that will be available. And as a leader, if you'll look for that, let your church secretary know to be looking for that, because when that envelope comes, you'll want to make sure she routes that right to you, and that will give you a lot of details and a lot of information on what you need to do when. But then also, once the website comes live, there will be a downloadable version of that, as well as a downloadable version of what we call the Camporama Leader Guide. And that will be available to you, and it will give you a lot of very important information if you've never been to Camporama before, of what to do and how to prepare for it. And even if you have, it's just there's a lot of details, there's timelines and all of that, so we want you to be ready to do that too. But all in all, Camporama is an incredible time. It's a fun time of us just coming together. Do this for your boys. It takes a lot of work. Anything that's worthwhile takes work to do. But the impact that it will have on the lives of your boys, and the impact and the memories that you will build with your boys, the relational credit that you will earn with your boys during that time, it is worth every bit of the effort.
Amen.
And so strongly advise you to be thinking about that. You're the man that can make it happen, leader. And so staying with our theme, you see what I did there?
Yes, I
Tied
did.
it into our theme.
That was good.
So you be the man that makes sure that those boys get to Camporama, and I know they will be blessed. And we know that just from past Camporamas, literally hundreds of boys make decisions for Christ at this event. Hundreds of boys are filled with the baptism of the Holy Spirit, have direction, and are encouraged just to continue on in their journey towards Christ-like manhood. And so that's the bottom line. That's why we do what we do. So anyway, hopefully that's been some good information for you. If you have questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to us, email rangers@ag.org, or you can call the national office, and we'll be happy to talk to you. I think John will be right there manning the phones.
I think
It'll be Sandra.
I think my phone's broken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's broken.
But it will be an incredible time. Guys, seriously, we're excited for it. We're already obviously talking about it this early on. We are looking forward to an incredible time, and I would love to see each and every one of you there. This summer, we're obviously going to be out at different camps and at different powwows. If you see us out and about, as always, make sure you come up and say hello to us. Leaders, if you have any questions or anything like that, if you see us, feel free to ask us. We will be more than happy to talk to you about that. So again, thanks for allowing us to take this time and just kind of speak into your lives and share a little bit about what's going on in the world of Rangers. And we look forward to getting together with you again next time.
Sounds good.
All right. God bless you guys. Have an awesome day.